All right, what is up? Welcome to the Spoiler Kings, and we have another movie review for you guys. We are going to talk about 28 Years Later, the third one in this franchise, the new movie of the weekend. So we're going to get into our ratings at the end, some of the box office numbers, some of the Rotten Tomato numbers, plus our likes and our dislikes. And then we also want to hear from you guys in the comments. So we want you guys, if you're watching live, to leave a comment down below or on the side. Let us know what you guys think about this one. We're going to get into the comments towards the end. And if you are watching on the replay, leave a comment and let us know what you guys thought about 28 Years Later. And we love chit chatting with you guys down in the comment section. So with all that being said, Brian, you got a quick synopsis of what this one's about?
A little bit longer because there's a lot of shit going on. It's been almost 3 decades since the rage virus escaped from the biological weapons laboratory. Still living in a ruthless enforced quarantine, some have found a way to exist amid the infected. One such group of survivors lives on a small island connected to the mainland by a single, heavily defended causeway. When one of them decides to venture into the dark heart of the mainland, he soon discovers a mutation that spread to not only the infected, but to other survivors as well.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's right? Because, like, does it spread to other survivors? I guess so, right? Technically.
We'll talk about that in the end.
Yeah. But yeah, Danny Boyle coming back and directing this one. I think he did the first two, right?
He did the first one. It was a second.
The first
it was
one?
a different director for the for 28
For
weeks later.
Okay. Yeah. So but yeah, but with the cast, we got pretty big cast. Jodie Comer's in it, Ralph Fiennes is in it, Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it. Jack O'Connell from Sinners was in it. So
no, you can't just say all that and not say Alfie Williams, because Alfie Williams was the star of all the stars. Like, don't get me wrong, Aaron Taylor Johnson's good. All that stuff was good. Jodie Comer was good. But man, Alfie Williams really was the star of this movie.
Yeah. I'm looking at his IMDb. Like, he was in A New Breed of Criminal, which I have not seen, and he was in His Dark Materials for one episode.
This was supposed to be his first movie.
His first movie, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His first movie. So, he was definitely a positive from this movie. He was amazing.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it in His Dark Materials. I don't quite remember him in it.
He was Ghost Theo. Yeah, he's like a quick in and out, probably. But we'll start off with our likes. We'll start with Brian, then Brandman, and then me. So Brian, what you like about this one?
As I just said, Alfie Williams was amazing. He was Spike. He 14-year-old, kind of the main character we kind of followed from not the beginning first scene, but like after that, we kind of followed him around. I think the story pacing was pretty good until to the end. The shots of where they were in England and Great Britain or in Ireland was beautiful.
Yeah,
like gorgeous. I feel like it didn't try to be what it wasn't. It didn't try to like one up itself. It knew what it was and it kind of stuck with that. We have a storyline. We're going to run with this storyline. We're going to do that. And it's really not a zombie movie. It was more about family connection and the differences and, even how you force children to age up too quickly. I think those are the main things. And all that's really cool conversation to start to have. And this movie still reminds me a lot of the pandemic of stuff. As I watch it and how this world is and how things like this could happen and even the idea of rage. So this was a good fun time. So those are some of the likes, some positives I have.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Brian, man? Positives.
Just to kind of branch off of what Brian said, it wasn't really a zombie movie. To me, it kind of felt like more of a survival movie, which I thought was a pretty logical step from the previous couple movies. There were parts of it, especially the scenes with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Alfie Williams. It kind of reminded me of The Road with Viggo Mortensen. Parts of that I liked that it was showing how humanity had adjusted to the rage virus or the rage outbreak, whatever it was called. And I thought a lot of that worked. I liked the way that it was filmed. I liked a lot of the scenes with the zombies. I thought they felt appropriately tense, especially the first couple of them. Alfie Williams was great. Aaron Taylor Johnson was really, the acting all around the board was great. If there's one thing that Danny Boyle knows how to do, it's to get good performances out of his actors. I like that it kind of stood on its own. It didn't really need the previous movies. It stood on its own just fine. And
you think that's because it's literally 28 years later, 27 years from the last movie? Do you think that's what it really was?
To an extent, but when you're when each movie's kind of focusing on like a different group and how they're handling this, it that also kind of works to its advantage of it standing alone. So yeah, those are the things that worked for me.
Yeah. The standalone stuff was pretty like the best for it, because then you're able to do a trilogy and not have to worry too much about like what happened in the first two films, even though you could, but you don't have to. But I agree with everything you guys said. The acting is awesome. The visuals, the cinematography is amazing for this one. And then finding out it was like shot on all iPhones, because Danny Boyle didn't want to have all that equipment around to possibly mess up the environment to make it not look like it's a post-apocalyptic kind of world, so like that's pretty cool, where he was just like with this a phone that everyone has in their pocket, he made a movie, that's just wild to think about, nowadays.
He probably still had like 50
Oh yeah, I mean, we saw the picture where he literally has all 50 iPhones on that little rig, to catch the action sequences and stuff like that. I'm sure you had like drones and stuff too, but for the most part, that's pretty awesome. But yeah, the acting was cool. The ending for me, I didn't hate it. I kind of liked it, but it was very different from the rest of the film, which we'll get into that. But the ending I thought was very entertaining, very unexpected. Unexpected, yes. I think is the best way to put it. I was not expecting that. So we'll get into that. But yeah. Just I don't want to go too much about all you guys, but the Alpha, I had to look up who the Alpha was. So the dude was a former MMA fighter. He's 6'9". He was in a few other things. He was in Craven. He was in Gladiator 2.
His chest was here. Like what? Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. Like giving him like that crazy beard and like him like running around like a madman. But I did like these like newer zombies.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he looked like the singer from System of a Down.
Oh my god, yeah, I can see that. But I was gonna say the zombies remind me of Attack on Titan a little bit. Being naked. Attack on Titan they're a little bit more neutered when it comes to the looks, but they did the same thing where they say it stood there and then they would start running. And Attack on Titan is the dumbest thing, and it's awesome at the same time with the big Titans. When they go with their arms up with the big goofy smiles. It reminded me very much of this. Like when they're like on the horizon and then they go,
yeah,
and then they just like start flailing all crazy and shit. It was like it reminded me of that very, very much of that, and I enjoyed that. It was like, okay, I'm like, I don't like, did Danny Boyle ever watch Attack on Titan? Like, because that's not too far off. But let's get into our dislikes. What issues you had with this one, Brian?
You start off a movie retconning the second movie. I think that was kind of weird because like the second movie kind of explained how it moved past, England and Ireland and UK. It moved past it, and then this movie tells you that it was totally contained in the UK and Ireland. Like it totally like retconned everything that we heard from the second movie. So what's the point of having 28 weeks later? I don't like that. Regardless if this is the same director as the first one, you just don't skip like we didn't see it. Yeah, I thought that was poorly done. I didn't like that. I will tell you that sometimes the shaking camera was a little bit much. Sometimes I was like, "What the fuck, dude? If you don't stop." like I'm getting tired of it, and I don't usually complain about that. That's not usually my thing. But they're trying to give you that point of view, that first person point of view. It's too much. It was too much shaking of the camera. I thought I was like, that's too much. Didn't really enjoy that. They left a lot of things unexplained, like a lot of stuff. Zombies giving birth. Alphas. How do they get that big? What are they eating? What's going on? Like, how do the crows that are eating zombies not turn to zombie crows? Like, there's a lot of things that I just question and don't understand. And then the entire end of it, I totally question that too. So like, there's just a lot of stuff I don't understand. I think there's a lot of questions that they're going to be brought up, but I guess those are all my negatives now.
You didn't like the Power Rangers at the end?
I was like, what the hell? Like, why am I doing Captain Planet? What the hell is going on?
Oh my god, bro! They got Power Rangers, man! Like, come on, like the Psycho Rangers or some shit. Like,
oh my god!
Oh, when they all start popping up, I'm like, okay, they get a little color coordinated up on the rocks, and then like he sends them to attack. Like that was, dude, I started laughing. It was so epic. Okay. Fucking ninjas.
Yeah, like hardcore Jimmy Savills.
Yeah. 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 And then there were like psychopaths enjoying it on top of that, which is like, I don't know. It's funny. But what about you, Brian, man? Some issues you had with the film?
I think there were parts of it that kind of felt like it was kind of tonally inconsistent.
Okay.
Like I said, a good amount of it felt like a survival movie, and then it tried to like kind of segue into more like full on family drama, and then it went back to survival, and then it tried to be like a little bit of a zombie movie, and then it went back to family drama, and then the last several minutes just felt like it belonged in a completely different movie. With Remick showing up and being the leader of a bunch of parkour zombie murderers, zombie killers,
ninja assassins.
Yeah, ninja assassins dressed up in friggin' sweatsuits and blonde wigs. So I was like, where did this even come from? So that was just the tonal inconsistency was kind of a big thing for me. Other than that, I thought that a lot of it worked, and then like the whole scene with the mother delivering the zombie just suddenly becoming a zombie whisperer and and delivering a baby. I was like, why? So you know, parts of it kind of felt all over the place.
Yeah. Go real quick, like going back to the zombie pregnancy thing. They show her walking in the water with a bunch of the other like zombies, and I'm like, because then I started asking the question. I'm like, was she pregnant and then got turned, or was she turned and then became pregnant? Because
you saw all the zombie dong, so
I guess just accidentally slid in or something. I don't know. But it was like wondering, because I'm like, because it makes them like kind of like here, like they kind of changed it where they are not as mindless as we assumed. I mean, if they're having sex,
there's some smarter ones, and I think it felt like it was evolution of it.
Yeah, they're trying to change. But yeah, her giving birth was interesting, because then the whole then you start thinking, is it gonna be a zombie or not? It's not, right? So I'm like, okay. And then the thing that made me like really laugh, because the absurdity of it all, was how they explained why it wasn't a zombie, or the baby wasn't a zombie. When Ralph finds out about the baby, and Ralph finds, who's a doctor in this one, I forgot what his name was, but he's like a doctor, Kelsey or Casey or something like that, I think
Kelson or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so his explanation is like, the power of the placenta. I was like, no, man, no, that makes no sense.
That's how placenta works, don't you know? It cures all.
It takes just anything and turns it into food, like it made no sense. I was like, okay, yeah, but I'm like, okay, so that was kind of funny with that. But yeah, definitely becoming the pregnant zombie whisperer. I got what they were getting at with it, like, oh, motherhood goes past being a zombie or a human. I was like,
no, it doesn't.
It was weird. Yeah, I was like, it was weird. But yeah, some of my negatives, kind of going with what you guys were saying, especially like the tone kind of changing throughout. I definitely felt that, because in the beginning, it was they did a lot of these like kill shot kind of moments, with the camera, a lot of shaky cam and stuff like that, and then it changed, and then you kind of like start to hate the dad. You're like, oh, you're a giant piece of shit, you suck on so many different levels, and then the kid leaving, and I felt like I kind of wanted to be mad at the kid, but I also
know why he left that family.
Yeah, like I'm like, okay, it's a bad decision, but like it's not like you're not sitting there like, oh, you're a stupid kid, and so you're like, yeah, fuck, I mean, I get it,
works, it works. If it doesn't,
yeah, but yeah, it definitely felt like it was changing, because even in the beginning, a lot of the music was different. It had that that was soundtrack, and it had the weird cuts, like really quick cuts in the beginning, where towards the end it didn't do that as much at all. The dreams he was having, they didn't really explain stuff like
why
that.
Is he having a dream at all?
Yeah.
Was I the only one that thought that? I was like, well, so you're not going to explain this?
Yeah,
like what was that all about?
Yeah, even tease at like what it was. But yeah, and then just the little things with the mom being in and out was like, oh, 1 minute she's like, has like the killer headache, that she wants to like, her head's going to explode too. She doesn't remember saving her son, from a zombie. I was like, it is very like, and I get they try to explain why, because what she's sick and stuff, but I don't know. It was like kind of really pushing. It really pushed ideas, we're like, oh yeah, she had cancer, so that's why she was doing this. I was like,
how do they know how long it was?
What do you mean?
For cancer, like, she has terminal cancer. How do they know?
He didn't, because I was kind of curious too. He was just kind of going off of vibes, basically. He was like, she had a lot of lymph nodes throughout her body that were like really swollen, and he said the way she was acting and her
her
constant
erratic
blackouts and
behavior
stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know, so he even said, he goes, it either started in your brain and went to the rest of your body, or went, from the body to the brain. But either way, it's in your brain. Once it's in your brain,
it's over.
It's over. But yeah, and the one other thing I thought was weird was when they find out early on, when the dad tells the Spike about finding the doctor. He goes, "Oh, he was burning bodies," and we were freaked out about that, so we left. But I was like, isn't that like one of the smartest things you can do? Is like, oh, here's a bunch of dead bodies. Like, zombies are going to feed on it. That could spread it. Contagion. Like, they're going to feed all. It's food for the zombies. Let me burn them. And cremate them or whatnot. I was like, but instead they're like, oh, that's weird. So we left. Like, what? I mean, what the dude did with them was. I mean, he made a catacombs kind of. You're basically, weird, it's very weird, but also like it. Like it was like remembering the dead kind of thing, very much like a catacomb. It looked cool. It looked cool as shit. I'll give it that. But yeah. All right, so we'll move on to our ratings. And now, later, never. Now means you go check it out in theaters. Now, later means wait till it's at home. And never means just skip it. Brian, what you giving 28 years later?
For me, it's gonna be a later. Not 28 years later, but it's gonna be a little bit later. I don't think people will love this movie, but it's not my genre. It's not, and it didn't grab me. And there's a lot of things I thought that just were silly and didn't make sense and nonsensical for me. But it might be because don't love the genre that makes me feel that way. But to each their own. But for me, it's a maybe. I'm a later. I'm sorry.
Later. Okay. Where are you, Brandman?
I'd say later too, even though I liked it, like where they went with it. The last 35, 40 minutes were kind of where it fell apart. It was a little too all over the place for me. And a lot of different parts, like I said, felt like they belonged in a completely different movie. And I think those were my biggest things with it. It was what I expected with the as far as the hype goes, but yeah, the way it ended, I was kind of like, what the heck is going on?
That was fast.
Yeah. And for me, I'm also gonna give it a later. It felt a little too different from the last two films. It didn't, for me, it didn't really finish the story. Like, I guess it kind of did with his mom, but then it started picking up other storylines, and then obviously they're going to do the trilogy. That's the thing. They already greenlit the second one. The third one they're still waiting on. But so it's always like, you didn't finish the story, and I kind of want I want the whole movie to be done. So that was kind of an issue I had. But yeah, I think it's kind of like a fun enough time if you like the franchise. I don't know if a lot of people are going to like love it if you are a fan of the franchise. But like Brandman said, that last 20, 30 or so minutes is crazy. And then the last 5 minutes, it's comical, kind of, it's funny. It's funny. Also for me, it was funny in a good way, because I'm like, I want to know more.
Yeah.
So it definitely got me there. It's like, I kind of want to know, like, who are these people? I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think. So if you're watching on the replay, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about 28 years later. Some issues you had with it, stuff that you might have liked about it. Let us know what you think about the ninjas at the end. That's the thing I'm most curious about. Yeah, but we want to hear from you guys. So leave a comment. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Come and join us when we do live movie reviews, trailer reactions, and other fun, nerdy stuff. But if you are in the live chat right now, we appreciate you guys. We want you guys to stick around, because we're going to move on to our next topic right now.